In my previous life, my daughter traveled back in time just to help me escape the fate of being abused by Axel Gu. With her help, I successfully married Levi Cheng, the one I had a crush on, but my daughter completely disappeared due to the changes in history. After marriage, Levi Cheng treated me well. He never mentioned the topic of having children for fear of upsetting me. It wasn't until Levi Cheng was successfully promoted to professor that he publicly announced at a thank you banquet that he had a 25-year-old son with his mistress. It turns out he has been in contact with his mistress all these years, using our joint assets to buy cars and houses for his illegitimate child. I was so angry that I fainted, and not long after, I passed away, but Levi Cheng immediately married the mistress, and the family was reunited. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the night before I married Levi Cheng. My daughter leaned against me, her voice trembling slightly. "Tomorrow is the day to register for marriage, you should go to bed early." I was stunned for a long time until my daughter's hand touched my forehead, and only then did I realize that I had been reborn. She worriedly muttered to herself, "No way, no fever. Why is she so dazed?" Seeing my daughter again, I couldn't help but tear up. In my last moments of life, I saw memories I had never seen before, things that happened before my daughter traveled back in time. After I married Axel Gu, he revealed his true nature, beating me and forcing me time and again to get money from home. In that era, domestic violence was not taken seriously, and I could only endure it while struggling to care for my daughter alone. My daughter was very understanding. She knew she had no support since childhood and never made me worry, even when she was in elementary school. She learned to take care of herself, eating cold meals alone, sleeping alone, and whenever she heard me arguing with Axel Gu, she would hide under the covers and cry quietly. Thinking of this, my heart felt like it was being torn apart. If the price of my happiness was to make my daughter disappear, I would rather suffer all my life. I'm not getting married. Levi Cheng has someone else in his heart. Daughter Luna Gu is a bit anxious. How is that possible? He said he has always had a crush on you, and just a few days ago he proposed to you in front of so many people. How can you say such a thing? I looked at my daughter without saying anything. Based on the age of Levi Cheng's son in the previous life, at this time, Levi Cheng was already having an affair with Wei Xiaoya. It's still the 1980s today, and if something like this happens, they would be nailed to the pillar of shame for the rest of their lives. I gently patted my daughter's hand and said, "The marriage won't be cancelled, just postponed for a few days." Upon learning that I was postponing the marriage registration for a few days, Levi Cheng seemed a bit displeased. "Kaya, didn't we agree on today? You're not having second thoughts, are you? I know I'm just a poor student, and your father is a professor. I owe you. If there's anything you're unhappy about, just say it. Why would you want to cancel the wedding?" He spoke very loudly. And as soon as he said this, people from the village gathered around. Our engagement had already spread throughout the village, and a few women started gossiping. "Professor Lin's family is very impressive, but our Levi isn't bad either. He's now a teacher in the village, and maybe in 2 years he'll be transferred to a high school in the county town." Xiao Lin, you can't just look at the present. Levi Cheng is a child with great potential, and things will get better in a few years. They all chattered away, as if I were missing out on a great fortune by not marrying Levi Cheng. I know why Levi Cheng is in a hurry. In a week, the selection for outstanding teachers will take place. My dad is here to inspect Xiaoyang, and he'll be returning to the provincial capital next month. If I got married, my dad wouldn't have the heart to let me stay in the countryside. He would definitely find a way to move Levi Cheng over too. Levi Cheng is forcing me to agree. I lowered my head, feeling very embarrassed. "Levi Cheng, I know you are eager to marry me, but I'm not ready yet. Do we really have to say it in front of the whole village? It's so embarrassing." Levi Cheng's expression softened a bit. "This is my first time getting married too, so there's no need to be shy. Kaya, let's go register right now. I can slowly add the things you need later." After saying that, he directly grabbed my wrist and took me towards the town government office. My daughter followed behind. Wearing a faint smile, she was also eager for me to marry Levi Cheng, because in a few days, Axel Gu will come to the village, and she is afraid that I will fall in love with him at first sight. Halfway through, Siadazi from the same village suddenly blocked our way. He leaned in and whispered a few words to Levi Cheng, and their eyes occasionally looked towards the woman in the distance. Levi Cheng lowered his voice, but I still heard him. Let her calm down for now. What is more important in life than love? I will never touch Kaya Lin in this life. My heart still belongs to her. Siadazi shook his head. Sister Xiaoya said her period hasn't come this month. She might be pregnant. Levi Cheng, do you plan to take responsibility for her? Levi Cheng glanced at me and my daughter, seeing that we looked normal, then said, since that's the case, you two should have a fake marriage first. Once I move to the city, I'll help you both. My daughter didn't hear their conversation. She grabbed my hand, her eyes full of reluctance. Once you get married, I will leave. I hope you have a happy life. As I reached out to tuck a lock of hair behind her ear, what kind of determination to face death did my daughter truly have at that moment? I will be happy in this life. After saying this, I shouted at Levi Cheng, I'm not feeling well. Since you have something to do, let's postpone the wedding for a couple of days. Without waiting for Levi Cheng to respond, I grabbed my daughter and ran home. I will never forget the feeling of being betrayed in this life. I want Levi Cheng to be utterly disgraced. In the following days, I wandered around the village from morning till night, telling everyone that I was going to marry Levi Cheng and handing out candies to them. The villagers were all saying that I was completely under Levi Cheng's control and deeply in love. My daughter was a bit worried and told me not to be so ostentatious. She was still a little dissatisfied with the marriage arrangement. Levi Cheng's family was very poor, barely putting together the three major items. The bicycle and sewing machine were old ones from the family, and they only bought a watch that had been worn by someone else for 2 years. My dad was also a bit dissatisfied, but seeing how much I liked it, he ultimately did not say anything. Levi Cheng secretly took Wei Xiaoya to the county hospital to get checked. It was confirmed that she was pregnant, and Wei Xiaoya wore a smile from morning to night. Especially when she encountered me in the village, she became even more arrogant. I pretended not to see and handed her a handful of candy. Wei Xiaoya was unhappy, and with a flick of her hand, the candy fell into the dirt. I don't like sweet things. I just didn't hold on steady. I wasn't angry. My gaze lingered on her stomach for a moment. Xiaoya, have you been eating more lately? I can see you've put on quite a bit of weight. Even your belly is getting round. She immediately tugged at the hem of her shirt, her face pale. What nonsense are you talking about? I haven't gained any weight. Many people in the village were sunbathing, and upon hearing us talking, they all turned to look at Wei Xiaoya. She is only 2 months pregnant, so it is natural that she won't show. But she couldn't help feeling guilty, as Wei Xiaoya covered her abdomen with one hand, blushing fiercely and shooting me a harsh glare. Levi Cheng walked over holding a basket of wild vegetables, standing between the two of us. Kaya, this is fresh vegetables just picked from the field. Take them back for Dad to eat. He wiped his hands and looked at me with hopeful eyes. It's been 4 or 5 days already. Isn't it time to register? I didn't take the vegetables and stuffed the wedding candies into my pocket. Don't you have something to do? I heard from Aunt Zhong that you went to the county hospital with Xiaoya the day before yesterday. What's wrong? Are you sick? Why didn't you tell me? Levi Cheng nervously swallowed. Well, I ran into someone on the road, and Xiao Ye wasn't feeling well, so I accompanied her. He suddenly grabbed my hand and urgently said, Kaya, don't misunderstand. I'm just acting out of kindness. We have nothing between us. Wei Xiao couldn't hold it in and went home holding her stomach. That afternoon, rumors started spreading in the village that Levi Cheng and Wei Xiaoya were deeply in love, and I had become a third wheel in someone else's relationship. My daughter was so angry that she wanted to go out and argue with them. What are they talking about? This is slandering you. What are you going to do in the future? I held her back, feeling no waves of emotion, but rather hoping the rumors would grow even bigger. Because this rumor was spread by me. There is no wall that cannot be breached in the world. If there is even a slight sign of discovery by others, the matter will not be able to be kept secret. Sure enough, as usual, when I went out to distribute a bag of wedding candy, Aunt Liu stopped me and told me not to distribute it anymore. Kaya, what exactly is going on between you and Levi Cheng? I just came back from the fields and saw Xiaoya crying in Levi Cheng's arms. If they have a deep relationship, you shouldn't get in the way, right? I opened my eyes wide, my lips trembling. Auntie, what are you saying? Levi Cheng himself said he wants to marry me. You were all there every time he called me to register. Who said that? Levi Cheng, really, with Xiaoya. Seeing me heartbroken, the villagers around came to comfort me. Aunt Liu comforted me. Kaya, I might have seen it wrong. Don't be sad, let's go see again. If Levi Cheng really betrayed you, we will seek justice for you. I cried with my face drenched in tears. The villagers around were furious, ready to tear Levi Cheng apart right then and there. When I followed the path pointed out by Aunt Liu to Levi Cheng's doorstep, there were already about 100 people behind me. I achieved the effect I wanted, wiped away my tears, and reached out to push the door, before my hand could touch the door frame. Levi Cheng opened the door from inside and was stunned to see such a large crowd behind me. Kaya, what are you all doing? I was just sweeping the yard. What happened? I hadn't even spoken, and tears were already flowing. Aunt Liu said, seeing you with Wei Xiaoya, you too, if you have feelings for each other. Why do you want to provoke me? Levi Cheng's face went pale. I didn't. Stop making things up, a voice in the crowd said. I think I saw Wei Xiaoya is pregnant. That day she dropped a piece of paper that looked like a checkup report from the county hospital. Wei Xiaoya pushed through the crowd and stepped out, looking very upset. Who is gossiping? I am still a pure and unmarried girl. No matter what, you can't slander me, she sniffed and said. By the way, yesterday afternoon when I passed by the rice fields at the village entrance, I seemed to hear Kaya Lin's voice. She spoke with great detail. It seems there was also a man. I didn't see clearly, but he was wearing grey cloth shoes and was very tall. Could it be that she is pregnant and is trying to smear us out of fear of being found out by Levi Cheng? Widow Zhong agreed with what she said. That's right, I saw it too yesterday. However, it was dark, so I couldn't see who it was. Wei Xiaoya turned around, her gaze intense. Kaya Lin, who is that wild man? If you honestly confess, our village will only gossip a little. This is a matter of personal reputation. If you mess around casually, you'll lose the face of the entire village. I remained unfazed. Are you slandering me? There is no wild man, and I am not messing around. Speaking requires evidence. Do you have any evidence? Wei Xiaoya blinked twice, tears welling up. Kaya Lin, I know you must feel ashamed for doing something like this, but you absolutely should not tarnish my name and Levi Cheng's. We are innocent. We have never done such a thing. How much do you hate me to speak of me as such a woman? When she cried, everyone's thoughts changed. A few aunts pulled her to comfort her, telling her not to be sad anymore. Levi Cheng spoke up with righteous indignation. Kaya Lin, I can't believe you would betray me like this. From the beginning, I only had you in my heart. You know my family is very poor, and I've given you everything I could. I wondered why you have been reluctant to marry me these days. And it turns out you have someone else outside. Who is that person? How could you abandon me for him? He took a deep breath and stepped forward. As long as you tell me the truth, I won't blame you. Our marriage has been discussed thoroughly, and I don't want to give you up. Let's go get registered now. I will never abandon you in my lifetime. Everyone praises Levi Cheng as a good man. Levi Cheng sighed and turned his gaze towards me. I crossed my arms. And it turned out he wanted to dirty my reputation, so I couldn't get married, and then he would generously marry me. I said, speaking must be based on evidence. I haven't been messing around. Then who did I see yesterday? Widow Zhong defended Levi Cheng. Xiedazhi came out and advised Levi Cheng not to be sad. Widow Zhong pointed at Xiedazhi and exclaimed in surprise, Xiedazhi. It's you, grey cloth shoes, white pants, tall and strong. The person who was with Kaya Lin yesterday, it was you. You are that wild man. Xiedazhi stiffened. He turned around and replied stiffly, Don't talk nonsense. This makes the villagers even more convinced that it is him, and they point at me, saying that I am a person of loose morals. Xiedazhi stood in front of me. It was Kaya Lin who seduced me. I was out of my mind at the time. Yesterday she found me and said she was pregnant, asking me for money for an abortion. How could my family afford that? I scolded her harshly. I didn't expect that. To cover up the dowry given by Levi Cheng, she would actually slander Wei Xiaoya. It seems that Levi Cheng is conspiring against me together with others. Kaya, I'm done worrying about it. Really, let's just register now. Okay, let's put this matter behind us. Who told me I really like you? Levi Cheng grabbed my wrist, filled with deep affection, and painfully squeezed out a few tears. Kaya Lin, there aren't many good men like Levi Cheng around. Just marry him. You're not pure anymore, and in the future, no one will want you. The villagers chimed in, and a large group of people surrounded us, leading us to the township office. I wanted to shake off Levi Cheng's hand, but he held on tighter, giving me no chance to break free. Everyone stop it. The person with Kaya Lin yesterday was me. Her husband is Axel Gu, a voice interjected. And everyone stopped, stunned by the scene before them. Levi Cheng turned around in a fit of rage and was punched by Axel Gu. Axel Gu took out a marriage certificate from his pocket and showed it to everyone. Yesterday afternoon, Kaya and I went to the county to register, and we were seen on the way back with the official seal. It can't possibly be fake. Levi Cheng looked at us in disbelief. What do you mean, Kaya Lin? Didn't you promise to marry me? I already sent over the betrothal gifts. Why are you marrying this wild man? Zhong Widow looked at me disdainfully. Yes, even if you're married, you can't mess around. You got pregnant first, right? I turned around with a smile and pulled out the old Chinese medicine doctor, Grandpa Li, who was watching he has been treating patients in the village for decades, and everyone respects him. Grandpa, please take my pulse and see if I'm really pregnant. Mr. Li is quite amiable. After taking my pulse, he shook his head. Kaya is not pregnant. I took 2 steps forward and pulled Wei Xiaoya over. Check her again. Wei Xiaoya struggled violently. Kaya Lin, you madman, prove your own innocence. Why drag me into this? Levi Cheng also came forward to pull. It has nothing to do with Xiaoya, but it was too late. The nosy Mr. Li had already grabbed Wei Xiaoya's arm from the other side. She's pregnant, about 2 months. In an instant, everyone's eyes were focused on the two of them. Aunt Liu clucked a few times. I said my eyes aren't so blurry yet. No wonder you two are hugging. Turns out you already have a child. Levi Cheng tightly protected Wei Xiaoya behind him. Don't look, don't look. After hearing the news, the daughter rushed over, and the villagers were in an uproar, surrounding Levi Cheng and Wei Xiaoya, pointing and whispering about them. And I stood outside the crowd, with the silent Axel Gu behind me. Upon seeing Axel Gu, my daughter stiffened for a moment. A fear that was etched in her bones. I hurriedly stood between the two of them and asked her how she came here. My daughter glanced at Levi Cheng and gritted her teeth. This Levi Cheng is actually a heartless man. He pretended so well that he deceived me. I comforted her. It's okay, you haven't gotten married yet, right? It's good that you found out early. She shook her head, looking at Axel Gu with concern. This person, is he the helper you found? You haven't married him, right? I held her in my arms and replied, no, I saw him a few days ago in the village. He's quite good looking. She was anxious. Didn't I say that you shouldn't judge a partner by their looks? Why did you get married without discussing it with me? Do you know that some people may look good on the outside, but are rotten to the core? Axel Gu looked over with, how does this girl speak? Why is she cursing? My daughter trembled slightly in my arms, looking at me with pleading eyes. Just pretend this is your way of getting rid of the show Levi Cheng is putting on. Please, can you get a divorce tomorrow? I stroked her head. What kind of logic is it to get divorced just one day after getting married? I think this Axel Gu looks pretty good, and I'm sure I can have a beautiful daughter. My daughter was in tears, clinging tightly to me. When we got home that night, she developed a high fever and kept talking nonsense. She is willing to sacrifice herself to stop me from marrying Axel Gu. The burden in her heart is very heavy. In the end, she still didn't succeed and naturally couldn't bear the blow. I stayed by her side, and the thing she said the most was, Mom, don't marry him. I felt uncomfortable and couldn't help but shed tears. After staying up all night, my daughter finally broke her fever. The first thing she asked me when she woke up was, you really can't divorce Axel Gu? Looking at her slightly desperate gaze, I felt a bit of empathy. Marriage is a big deal. if Axel Gu treats me poorly in the future, I will divorce him. My daughter remained silent for a long time, and seeing that I couldn't change my mind, she ultimately said nothing. When she was recovering from a severe illness, a meeting was being held in the village to criticize Levi Cheng and Wei Xiaoya. Due to issues with his conduct, the village's high school dismissed Levi Cheng, and he never had the chance to attend the county's high school. Perhaps he would never be appointed as a professor in his lifetime. Premarital pregnancy is a serious problem. Wei Xiaoya has been unable to lift her head in the village. After a while, she couldn't stand the rumors and insisted on Levi Cheng taking her to the town, never to return. I had already returned the betrothal gifts from Levi Cheng a long time ago, but even if everything were sold, it wouldn't support the two of them living in the town. Levi Cheng no longer has a job now, and his bad deeds have long been known throughout the county. The high school in the county avoids him at all costs. According to Aunt Liu, every time she passes by the village entrance, she hears the couple arguing. Feeling as if the roof is about to blow off, unable to withstand the rumors, Levi Cheng married Wei Xiaoya, but not many people attended the wedding, having previously toyed with the villagers. This could be considered their retribution. With vengeance taken, I finally feel a bit of comfort in my heart. However, my daughter has been gloomy every day. In my previous life, after marrying Levi Cheng, she disappeared. In this life, she has always been here, and I find it hard to understand how she can return to her own time and space. Just thinking about how my inaction has led to my daughter not having a happy childhood fills my heart with agony. The suffering from 2 lifetimes made me realize that only by standing strong can I avoid being bullied by others. Ever since my rebirth, I have been striving to learn knowledge. Studying with my dad every day, he was very happy and asked me if I had any interested majors, wanting to send me to university. He didn't blame me for the rushed marriage. He just said that I lacked consideration in my actions and didn't know to communicate with the family. In the life where I married Axel Gu, my parents' health was poor, and shortly after I had my daughter, they passed away one after another. Axel Gu squandered the inheritance I received. Without my family to rely on, I lived even more difficultly. My education level was not high, so I could only work in a clothing store in the county, and the two of us could barely have enough to eat. Axel got drunk and started hitting me, frequently snatching away the money I earned. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but shake my head. In this lifetime, I will study to death and will never give anyone the opportunity to bully me again. My daughter supports me in continuing my studies and keeps telling me the benefits of studying. Once you have knowledge in your mind, you'll know how to reasonably retaliate against others. Besides, even if you have children in the future, when you're helping them with their homework, you won't be clueless, fretting and losing sleep over it. I was stunned for a moment. It turned out that my inferiority was noticed by my daughter all along. In the end, I decided to go to the provincial capital with my dad to study design. In the coming decades, the fashion industry developed rapidly. I have witnessed the entire trend of the fashion world. I still decided to start my own business after completing my studies. Trying to give my daughter a complete and happy childhood, Axel Gu is currently not showing any signs of abnormality. Although he does not show concern for me like Levi Cheng did back in the day, he can still be considered a good man. My daughter is still not giving up, following me around all day and talking to me about cases of domestic violence. Some men are extremely nice to you before marriage and before having children. Once you have the baby, they think you have completed your task and start treating you like a servant. I put down the book in my hand and agreed with her statement. You're right, but Axel Gu is still pretty normal for now. If he really treats me badly, I'll have the baby and get a divorce. My daughter shook her head. What if he doesn't agree to the divorce? What will you do then? I was stunned for a moment, realizing that I hadn't really thought about this issue. In fact, I loathe Axel Gu to the core, for the sake of giving birth to my daughter. I endured for a long time and interacted with him normally. With such a bomb that could explode at any time by my side, I couldn't sleep peacefully. Don't worry, I'll find a way. If I could get rid of Levi Cheng. What's an Axel Gu? My daughter bit her lip and suddenly confessed to me. I actually traveled here from 20 years in the future. After you marry Axel Gu, he will abuse you, and you will live very unhappily, and I am your daughter." At first, I said I was the daughter of you and Levi Cheng, which was a lie. I was afraid that if you knew the truth, you would still marry Axel Gu. She choked up, and tears fell down her cheeks in large drops. "Don't be with him anymore. I don't want you to live unhappily for the rest of your life." I reddened my eyes and gently held her hand. "But I am already pregnant. You said you are my daughter, so you are in my belly right now." She was stunned for a moment, then broke down in tears. "What will you do after giving birth? I don't want to see you compromising for me." I shook my head helplessly. "There won't be a dead end. I have learned knowledge now, and in the future, I will start my own business. Will the road still be difficult?" My daughter buried her head in my arms, gently placing one hand on my belly. "It's a bit strange. The one separated from me by a layer of belly is the little me." I rubbed her head, and she stopped crying and smiled. Unfortunately, we both overestimated Axel Gu's patience. When I was close to my due date, he suddenly started staying out late, only coming home at midnight, reeking of alcohol. I didn't pay attention because I still had to deal with school matters. But after half a month like this, it seemed he thought I was easy to bully, and suddenly exploded. I was lying with my daughter, fantasizing about the future. During this time, I have already started the factory, and the first batch of clothes will soon be put into production, hoping for a good return. Axel Gu kicked open the door and turned on the light. My daughter and I were startled, feeling a bit angry. I shouted at Axel Gu, "What are you doing acting crazy in the middle of the night?" He pointed at his daughter, his eyes wide open as if he wanted to eat her. "You don't know what the situation is in our house. A friend has been living here for more than half a year, eating my food and drinking my drinks. I'm not willing to support him anymore. Just get out of here now." I raised my hand and slapped him, protecting my daughter behind me. To give my daughter a place to stay, I told others she was my friend and borrowed her to stay at my home. But Axel Gu was wrong about one thing. This house was allocated by my father's workplace, and the money for daily expenses also comes from my father. Axel Gu has a job himself, yet he has never given me a single penny. What are you doing with your hands and feet? When have you ever used anything of yours? Get it clear. Everything you have now was given to you by my dad, because I just graduated from school and don't have much money yet. My dad feels guilty and often gives me money. He even helped me find Axel Gu's job. Axel Gu got drunk and started acting out. He grabbed my hair and pulled me into the wall. "Bitch, what's so great about you? You married me. What's wrong with your dad giving a little more money?" My daughter, I don't know where she got such strength, rescued me from Axel Gu's hands. Her calves were still trembling, yet she protected me like an old hen. "I won't allow you to hit her. What qualifications do you, an outsider, have to speak?" Axel Gu is also shouting. I am so angry that I can't suppress it, breathing heavily, feeling all the blood rushing to my head. The daughter did not back down at all. Instead, she took a few steps toward Axel Gu. "What, are you going to hit me? Go ahead. I live in the Lin family. What right do you have to talk to me like that? What's the difference between you and me?" I reached out to pull her. "Don't provoke him, it may be too late." Axel Gu casually grabbed a vase and hit his daughter's head with it. I screamed in shock, attracting neighbors from upstairs and downstairs, and they hurriedly called the police. Axel Gu lay drunk on the ground, unconscious. Blood flowed down the daughter's forehead. I held her, and my heart was about to die from fear. "He is drunk and his mind is not clear. What are you? Are you stupid?" My daughter shook her head and smiled at me. "I've been trying to help you get a divorce during this time. I know that as long as the child is born, what awaits you is endless pain. Axel Gu will not agree to the divorce, otherwise, you wouldn't have been so sad at that time. He is a wicked vampire who will not stop until he drains all the value from you." My tears flowed uncontrollably. "Then you can't use your own body to take risks. What if he isn't gentle when he strikes? What will you do?" Her gaze lingered on my stomach for a moment. I came through and never intended to go back alive. The police arrived quickly and took her daughter for an injury check. My stomach suddenly erupted, and the excruciating pain almost made me pass out. My daughter lay on the stretcher, suddenly grabbing the police officer's hand. Hurry, hurry, she's about to give birth, get her to the hospital first. I leaned against the wall, gritting my teeth tightly. Luna Gu, you go first. I can hold on. The daughter's mouth tightened slightly. The police immediately helped me onto the ambulance, saying it was spacious enough to take 2 people together. The ambulance sped down the road, and my daughter kept looking at me with concern, afraid that something might happen to me. But she seemed to have forgotten that her own head was still bleeding. Just as I was about to lose consciousness, I heard my daughter exclaim, "No, from start to finish. I never told you I am Luna Gu." Being infuriated by Axel Gu and getting hit again, I almost lost my baby due to the stress. After enduring countless hardships, the child finally came into the world. I looked at the baby whose face was turning red, and my heart was filled with love. But when I asked the doctor if she had seen my daughter, they all shook their heads and said they hadn't seen a girl in her 20s. I looked around at the people coming and going, and my heart sank. Once, when she and I talked about everything, she told me that her birthday was May 19th. I grabbed the nurse and asked her, "What's the date today?" The nurse replied, "April 30th, April 30. What about my daughter, the child I gave birth to? Is she not Luna Gu?" I was feeling overwhelmed and fainted for a moment. When I woke up, my parents were standing by the hospital bed, gently teasing the baby. "Dad, do you remember that friend who was staying at our house before?" My dad nodded. "I remember. I ran into her before coming here, and she said she was going home and asked me to take good care of you. Isn't that a given?" "Of course, I'll take care of my own daughter." My heart sank. "So how is the injury she sustained?" "Injured? She didn't mention it to me." My dad was busy watching his granddaughter and answered without looking up. "Did you name the child?" he asked me. I trembled and dared not answer, remembering the birthmark on my daughter's wrist, struggling to pry open the little baby's hand. Pure and clean, with nothing at all. "She is not Luna Gu." No, I was already in a daze. Then I'll name her. Let's call her Luna Gu. How about that? My dad was still cheerful. I turned around, tears streaming down. "Okay, let's call her Luna Gu. My daughter will be called Luna Gu. Wait until I recover and get discharged." Axel Gu is still in the police station. He was detained for a while for injuring someone. The police said he was causing trouble. When I returned home, holding the little baby, I felt a surge of emotion. With someone like Axel Gu, divorce might not be easy. Little Luna Gu was flapping her legs, reaching out with her little hand, and a corner of a paper peeked out from under the pillow. I opened it and found a letter left for me by my daughter. "Mom, I already told you I was helping you figure out how to get a divorce. Right, I found a way. There's something I haven't told you. Axel Gu hasn't told you either. He actually has bipolar disorder, which is why he can't control his violent behavior. Later on, because of drinking, he couldn't control himself even more. I found this in his diary. I've secretly locked the diary in the cabinet, so make sure you keep it safe. He has a problem but didn't tell you before getting married. You can take him to court and divorce him. If you can see this letter, it means I have disappeared, but this time it's not disappearing. It should be going back to my own world. Mom, you recognized me a long time ago, didn't you? I never told you my name is Luna Gu. Mom, even if you didn't give birth to me, you don't have to be sad. This world is very wonderful. Perhaps I have only come to a parallel world, but it doesn't matter. No matter which world's mom, I hope you are happy. Once, for my sake, you worked so hard, so I am also willing to go through fire and water for you. Also, Mom, thank you for being willing to give birth to me again. Even knowing that the days ahead would be so difficult, following the clues in the letter, I successfully found Axel Gu's confirmed case in the cabinet. I went to the police station and confronted him in front of the police, asking why he didn't tell me the truth. Axel Gu had a fearless look. "Marriage is a matter of mutual consent. Why should I tell you? I placed the diary on the table, so you knew already and intentionally hid it from me." He looked at me as if I were a fool. "Don't you understand human speech? Am I not clear enough?" I turned my head and said thank you to the police officer. "Axel Gu, let's get a divorce." Axel Gu burst out laughing. "Divorce? You wish. The child has already been born. Do you still want a divorce? I'm telling you, I will be attached to you for life. You can forget about getting rid of me. I came out of the police station and went straight to a law firm, entrusting them to help me with the lawsuit. The tide of the times has already begun, and I stand at the forefront, feeling for the first time that making money is so easy. The first batch of clothes produced was very successful, with sales experiencing a small boom, earning back quite a bit of money, and I am already preparing to open another factory. Professor Lin's family is very impressive, but our Levi isn't bad either. He's now a teacher in the village, and maybe in 2 years he'll be transferred to a high school in the county town. Axel Gu has no financial ability, and since my daughter is very attached to me, the court awarded her to me, after the divorce, without my family's support. Axel Gu soon fell into the streets, spending the days mingling with beggars and getting into fights. He can be considered a complete failure in this life. As for me, my business grew larger, and 5 years later, I had become a somewhat well-known entrepreneur. I carried my bag to pick up Luna Gu from school, but she ran out crying and bumped right into my arms. Woo-woo, Mommy, I got bullied and I'm hurt. The kindergarten teacher came out, her tone apologetic. I'm so sorry, Luna Gu's mom. I turned away for just a moment, and this child fell. Kids push and shove each other. It's not on purpose. She has a little scratch on her hand, but I'm worried it might leave a scar. I took Luna Gu's hand and saw a deep wound on her wrist. Who pushed you? I instinctively frowned and asked. It's Song. He said I'm an unwanted wild child. Sob sob sob. Luna Gu pouted aggrievedly. The teacher had already handled it simply. Her wound was no longer bleeding. But this child was strong. Despite such a serious injury, she did not cry out in pain, but instead looked at me full of grievances. Luna Gu, don't worry. We have already talked to Song's parents. They have made Song apologize and promise to cover the medical expenses. I nodded and took Luna Gu to the hospital for bandaging. Halfway there, Luna Gu looked up at me and said, Mom, actually, I'm not sad about what he said. I have a mom, and she is very good to me, and my grandparents are also very good to me. Luna Gu is not an unwanted wild child. I chuckled speechlessly. Of course, you are our family's treasure. Passing by a grove of peach trees, a sudden thought struck me. I took Luna Gu's hand and once again carefully observed the wound. The scar is small, just above the wrist, and exactly like the birthmark on Luna Gu's hand that I had seen before. My tears fell again. Luna looked up and comforted me. Mom, I'm not in pain anymore. I nodded vigorously. Mom knows.